Suzy Reno here with another episode of Where the Hell Have You Been the Last 6 Months? That's pretty much what this amounts to. So I'm filming in a different location today. I'm in my kitchen. I usually film in my living room, which is over there. And I just decided, you know what? I have this nice kitchen island and I have this nice backdrop of these lovely quilts. I don't know who made these quilts, by the way. I'm sure somebody will ask. So this one, I actually purchased both of these in the lovely town of Mineral Point, Wisconsin, which is just down the road from the Country Sampler, by the way. So if you ever visit the Country Sampler, you should also go to Mineral Point, Wisconsin. It was almost the capital of Wisconsin. It's kind of down the road from Madison. But Mineral Point is one of the oldest towns in Wisconsin. It was a Cornish settlement, and there are lots of historical old houses there. And if you go there, one of the Cornish dishes that is very popular is something called a pasty, P-A-S-T-Y. And they are delicious. So if you ever get a chance, go to the Red Rooster and have a pasty if you're in Mineral Point. Ironically, we're going to talk about this, but I was at the Attic Needlework in Mesa, Arizona in May, and around the corner from the Attic is a pasty shop. And the word, it's spelled P-A-S-T-Y, which looks like pasty. Don't let your mind go there. No. It's a delicious Cornish meal. So, but they had a Cornish pastry company a Cornish pasty company. God, I'm messing my own head up. In Mesa, Arizona, around the corner from where the Attic is. So whether you visit the Country Sampler in Wisconsin or the Attic in Mesa, Arizona, you are not far away from a pasty. So do yourself a favor and try one. They're delicious. I like to eat mine with ketchup. So anyway, getting back to these quilts, this quilt here is really neat. I think it was one of those quilts where someone was going away, is likely what it was about. But you can see here, these are all embroidered names. So this woman, Florence Blakely, made this block right here. Tina Mather made this one. This one is Carol Griffin made this one. So, and then they would gift these to the person going away. So they would all make a block, they would sew it into a quilt, and then they would gift it to the person that was going away, which I think is just a very sweet thing. So we should do that again, except that now when people go away, it's so much easier to keep in touch because of social media. So this quilt is a hexie quilt. I don't know who made it. It's not labeled. It is absolutely in fantastic condition. It's because it's a hexie quilt, it was all done by hand. These are all vintage fabrics. It's, like I said, in spectacular condition. And I don't know anything about who made it, but I found that at Crazy Frank's, which is like a big flea market in Mineral Point, Wisconsin. So both of these were found there. And Mineral Point is a great town. So, okay, enough for the tourism spot. I celebrated a birthday this week, and that means that I am officially now old. So I am old enough to get a senior discount in some places. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. And that's fine. You know what? Because a lot of people don't get the opportunity. So I am very happy with every single year I get on this earth, old or not. So I got a couple gifts. My friend Tracy. Well, first of all, before I get to my gifts, my birthday gift to myself was a ticket to the Queen and Adam Lambert concert, which happened last night. And let me tell you, that concert did not disappoint. I am still buzzing from it today. Like, one of the best concerts I have ever been to in my life. I think what made it so great is I knew every single song. I grew up with these songs. I never have had a chance to see Queen. The last time they came through, was, oh my goodness. I mean, it's been a hot minute. It's been a while. You know, well, Freddie died in 91. So, you know, they didn't really tour until they paired up with Adam Lambert. So I feel like this is the first time they've been to Minneapolis, St. Paul, because I remember when I was in 7th grade, and I kind of haven't forgiven my mom for this, but after last night, I'm okay with it. I was a big Queen fan. And in 7th grade, I wanted to go to the Queen concert so bad. My brother, who is like 4.5 years older than me, was going. He was willing to bring me, and my mom was like, no, you're in 7th grade. That's way too young. You're not going to go to that concert. They're going to be smoking pot. You're not going to do, no. She wouldn't allow me. And I'm sure I probably would not have allowed my 7th grader to go with my senior in high school to a concert. I don't know. Maybe I would have. It's hard to say. Probably not, though. She's a good mom. But at 7th grade, me was just like, very mad. My brother bought me a t-shirt, though, which was a consolation. But I went and saw Queen last night, and it was absolutely amazing. So, like I said, sang all the songs, knew every one of them. And Adam Lambert just blows my mind. So if you're not a Queen fan, I'm not sure we can be friends. So you may just want to stop watching right now. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just being silly. So that was my birthday gift to myself. So that was last night, which was just mind-blowing. I'll put in a couple pictures here so you can see just kind of the fun. And we had terrific seats. Like, we were in the not the main floor, which I'm glad, because I'm so short. I have a terrible time seeing over people. But we were directly across. They had one of those stages that kind of came out into the audience, and we were directly across from it, 8 rows up in the main first level. And the seats were just phenomenal. So it was a lot of fun. Tracy and I had a blast. So I got a couple gifts for my birthday. Tracy, who I saw yesterday, she lives about 2 hours north of me, and she's my concert friend. She loves going to concerts. She made me this bag, which is so cute, just absolutely adorable. And then she also gifted me more fabric, which I have to show you this. There's pumpkins. So I've got to make another bag with pumpkins on it. So this is Art Gallery Fabrics. This is it's called Pretty Creepy by Corey, I can't read it, Dantini? Maybe it's Dantini, Dantini. It's called Pretty Creepy, and it's from Art Gallery Fabrics, which I'm sorry. I think it's Free Spirit Fabrics. Hang on. Hold please. It's Free Spirit, not Art Gallery. My apologies. Okay, Free Spirit Fabrics. Here, I'll hold up the Spirit to Create from Free Spirit Fabric. Oh, I think that's just their logo. That's not what it's called, but Free Spirit Fabrics. So this goes with it, and then this one, here, I'll let you see. You can see for yourself her name. Corey Dantini, is that what you would say? Pretty Creepy. Okay, so if you want to make your own cute, adorable project bag like what Tracy made for me, you either have to find a friend as nice as Tracy, or go out and get your own fabric and make your own. So that was cool. I also got a couple things from Teresa. I actually got a bunch of stuff from Teresa. Teresa and I, for our birthdays, and for Christmas, we kind of collect things all year long and then put them in a box and just send them. So little things that remind us of each other. So she sent me a very cool game, which I have not had a chance to play yet, called Dandelions. It looks very fun. It's got some dice. It's got some, it looks like this kind of a game is called a roll and write game, which I'm a big board game lover, and she knows that. So this is a roll and write style game where you roll the dice and then you write like a dry erase board thing. So I'm excited to try that. She also sent me this adorable quilt shop puzzle called Stitch by Stitch. Isn't that cute? I can't wait to stitch this, or to stitch it, to put it together. It is by Gallison. The brand name is Gallison, and they make some really cool puzzles. I've seen their stuff before. So she's given me a couple others by them. So yeah, look at that cute little sewing machine. Oh my gosh. Who can even stand the cuteness? Okay. And then she sent me all of her new patterns, which are lovely. This one isn't brand new, but it's one of my favorites. And I asked her if I could have a copy, and of course, she's the best friend ever, so she sent me one. So my favorite thing about this one is that bird cage. Love it. Love the bird cage. And she sent me her new Jenny Bean green bean sampler, which is so cute. It's kind of, it kind of reminds me of Savior's Praise with the neat border thing she's got going on. And you can also stitch it on a lighter fabric too. And I think I just saw on her site, she has thread packs all made up. They are so cool. Yeah, so I'm tempted to, I like it on the lighter. I'm sure in person, it's so hard to photograph things on darker fabric. I'm sure in person, it pops much more than in the picture. It's so hard to photograph stuff like that, but this one you get a better idea kind of what it looks like with the colors. I love these little black-eyed Susans. Anyway, so that one. Oh Lord, My Strength, which is a reproduction. Very pretty border. Rose border. Elizabeth Parr, who doesn't love a fabulous berry bowl being guarded by a lion and a stag. That fun strawberry border. This one is gorgeous. Matilda Clark. Isn't that pretty? That is so awesome. Love it. Love it, love it. That big bunch of flowers in the middle. So, also, can you imagine if our 10-year-olds were doing stuff like this nowadays? I'm sure there are some, but just every 10-year-old is working on an exquisite sampler like this at some point. Can you imagine? It's weird. It's weird to think about. So those were my little gifts from Teresa, which was so nice. And then in addition to the Queen Adam Lambert tickets that I bought for myself back in April in honor of my birthday, I bought a out-of-print pattern that I've been watching for a while. My dear sweet friend Cindy C. Stitches on Instagram, she always posts like for Carol's Sampler Sunday, and one day she posted this one. This is the Ann Wells sampler from Birds of a Feather. I remember seeing this a while ago, and there's just something about it that I always liked. Just kind of that, it's just kind of funky. It's not big at all. It's pretty small, but I just loved it. So I splurged a little and I bought this one for myself. So these are the 4 colors that it calls for. I had them all in my stash. I just have to choose some fabric and just whip that puppy up. So that was my birthday gift to myself this week. Okay. I've got a list here of things that I've done. I also went on a hike with my kids up to the North Shore. The North Shore of Minnesota is like Duluth and north up along Lake Superior. And there's some beautiful hikes up there. There's some fun waterfalls. So we spent the first day doing a hike called Bean and Bear Lake. And then we hiked up there. That day, we got in 26,000 steps, and it was like rugged terrain. I mean, it wasn't like we needed to belay or, strap into a harness, but I mean, it was rocky. There was a lot happening. And so 26,000 steps. We ate at the best little cafe in Two Harbors called Judy's Cafe. If you're ever up there, go to Judy's. It was fabulous. And then we went e-biking on Sunday, which was really, really fun. I'd never been e-biking. That's where it's at. I might ditch my pedal bike and just get myself an e-bike. So it was a lot of fun. Very, very fun. So we had a great time. So we did that. In September, I'm kind of going backwards. So I'm gonna get back to May, which is the last time I made a video, pretty much, May or April. I went to a retreat, a local retreat, and it was a quilt retreat, and it's called a sleep in your own bed retreat. So it's a local church that does a fundraiser. They make you breakfast and they make you lunch. You can sew from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And it's delicious. The food is good, and you just get together with your friends and you sew for 2 days. So I got a lot done. So I'll show you the things I got done. I had a finish. So this I made a long time ago. This goes with, it was a bonus pattern in Lizzie Kate's, it's out of print. It's the one, it's got a Helen Keller quote. You know what? Hold one second. I'm gonna go grab it off my sampler wall. It's got a Helen Keller quote. Let me grab it. Okay. Oops. I am gonna tip this stool over that I'm sitting on. I don't normally have it this high, so my leg isn't used to being like throwing it over. I keep trying to tip it over. Okay. It says, the best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart. So this is a Lizzie Kate. I actually changed this pattern a little bit. I forgot what was here. I think there was just a giant sheep here, and I'm not a big sheep person. I don't know why, I'm just not. And they had all these bees in it. They had, you know, there's this giant bee, and then there's all these little bees, and I'm like, well, where did the bees live? So I just like freestyled this bee skep. I just plunked it in right there, and I didn't put in the sheep. I'm pretty sure it was a sheep. It was something that it just didn't jive with me. The bees, I was like, where did these bees live? Where are they from? Where are these bees living? Yeah, egregious oversight by Linda on that one. Where are the bees living, Linda? Goodness. So anyway, so yeah, this is a bonus pattern from this. You can see it's the same colors. So what I did with this one, let me put this down. Okay. I used my little mattress finish thing that I do, which I promise you the next video I make will be a tutorial. My daughter is home from her summer away. She worked in Yellowstone all summer, and she said that she would help me. So I do these little mattress finishes. You can do them on any size. And this one is filled with walnut shells, so it's really heavy, like a beanbag. So I do the mattress finish, I make a little cut inside it, that's how I stuff it, and then I just take some Steam-A-Seam and I iron on a patch. And you can stitch around this if you want. I never do, because it sits on the bottom. People don't handle it too much. So I'm lazy and I just iron it on, and it does the trick, and it stays very nice. So this has a nice weight to it, but it says do more of what makes you happy. So that was a finish that I did at the retreat. I also made several of these little, these are called, this is by This and That Patterns, and she's a Minnesota designer, I'm pretty sure. I think she's from the southern part of Minnesota. But you just pick 2 fat quarters and that coordinate, and I had these 2. Whoops, these here. So I gave a couple of these away. And then, and this is what I do with them. It makes 3 different sizes. It's called Bridget's Baguettes from This and That Patterns. I use them as kind of scissor jail. Here's some other ones that I've made in the past. I just keep my needle case and my scissors inside there. And then I throw that in with my whips, my works in progress. So here's another one I did. Isn't this cute fabric? I love that fabric. And this says little tiny things on it, like, I don't know. She had a carefree spirit. She always found the positive. It just says all kinds of little words on there. And they're just like little positive, uplifting things. But yeah, I love this fabric. These were the first ones I did. The other thing I love about this pattern is you use a zipper that's much longer than this usually. And you can see I used, like on this one, for example, I used 3 different zipper colors. And I don't know if you can see, but one of the things that you do is you trim off the excess zipper at the end of each bag, and this lady has you save these little scraps, and these are actually, I don't know if you can see, they're the teeth of the zipper. So on your little scraps, you trim off all the fabric part of it, or the canvasy part of it, so you've just got the teeth left, and the teeth don't like pull apart or anything, they stay together, and you use those, you slip them through the zipper as a zipper pull, and it's just a nice easy thing to grab onto. I just think that's such a clever little hack, and it looks so cute. Like you can see I kind of switched them up, so I mixed up the colors a little bit. So yeah, I don't know, I just think it's a really fun pattern. Bridget's Baguettes, I've made a number of them in the past and now. So so I got that done at the retreat. And then I got a few other things done at the retreat. I made some project bags. I used Vanna's tutorial. So Vanna, thank you. It's a great tutorial. And I made one of these for myself, and I made one for Teresa. So I just love these soda pops. This is a cotton and steel fabric. It might be Rashida Coleman Hale. I'm not positive which one. But yeah, and then this was the fabric I chose for the inside. And what's interesting is that this fabric goes with this lining fabric goes with these soda pop things so well. And what's funny is I've had this fabric for years. Like I bet I've had it for 10 years easily. And I just liked it, and it was like on clearance, and I bought it because I was kind of building my stash at the time. It went with this stuff perfectly. I mean, look at, like, the green goes with the green, and the orange goes with the orange, and I mean, it's just perfect. The same purple here is here. So it looks like they go together, but they aren't even a pair. It was just kind of serendipity that happened. So I made one of these for myself, and I made one for Teresa as well. What's funny, I made these two, and I was actually going to use this as a lining for this one, but I just decided this fabric was too cute to put on the inside. So I did a different, I think this is a Tim Holtz fabric. Jim Holtz or Tim Holtz? I can't remember. I feel like it's Tim. I think it's Tim Holtz. Anyway, and then this one, I just put some grunge fabric on the inside. Grunge is such cool fabric. That's by Basic Gray from Moda. Grunge, she might be my favorite designer of Moda fabrics, Basic Gray. In fact, I know she is. So, and then this one here, I got this fabric down at the Country Sampler the last time I was there, and it was just so cute. I don't even know who made it, but I'd never seen anything like it, and I thought it was so cute. So that was those two. And that's Vanna's tutorial, Vanna Pfeiffer, the Twisted Stitcher. She is a hoot. I love Vanna. I think, honestly, Vanna was the very first FlossTuber I ever watched. She's just funny. She has just a funny sense of humor. I really, really like Vanna. So thank you, Vanna. Your tutorials are amazing, and we all appreciate you in this community. So, what else? I went yesterday to... well, Tracy was in town. Tracy lives north of me. I think I mentioned that. And she ended up coming in early yesterday. And she came in early so we could go to a quilting shop that is west of me by about 45 minutes or so. And I love this quilt shop. The quilt shop is called Sweetwater Cotton Shop. I will hold up her card. Her stuff is just fantastic. She has a really neat mix of old, she has a lot of Australian designers that she'll carry. She only carries things that she really likes. She kind of specializes in a lot of English paper piecing. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically how you would make a quilt like this with the hexagons. You do it by hand. So I have like a little thing that I bought there. This is an Australian design, but they have these kitted up there. So this little kit, I got a bunch of little 2.5-inch squares. I got all the papers for it. I even have a template. I don't know if I can get that to poke out here. That's what this green thing is. It's an acrylic template. So if I ever want to make more of this size hexie, I just have to trace it. You can also buy these pre-made, but this is called the dilly bag, the Sweet Sunday dilly bag, and I saw it all done, and it's really cute. It's just a little drawstring pouch, and you can kind of fussy cut things. So like, see how that cat is poking out there, and how this rose and this flower kind of stand out, and she's got a circle here. So like I said, this is an Australian designer, Emma DiStefano from Treehouse Textiles. The Australian quilters really, they do a lot of really neat, bright patterns. Jen Kingwell. In fact, you know what? Let's segue into my next thing here. This is also Jen Kingwell. This is a gypsy wife quilt. I'm actually in the process of making one of these. So I have all of the strips cut. I have all of these blocks made. I just have to put the whole thing together. So my goal is to get this done by the end of this year. I don't know if I'll pull it off or not, because I've got some stuff happening this year. I'm going on a trip with my mom to Europe in less than a month. So that's gonna be phenomenal. So I'll try to post on Instagram every day if I can. So, but yeah, I've got this section right here done. You put it together in 10 different sections. So everything is made. I just have to sew everything together. So this is like, a lot of the Australian designers have these really busy patterns. A lot, they blow my mind. I would love to go on a creative Australian quilt tour or something. I mean, all of the amazing quilters. Sue Daly is another one that does amazing things. She does a lot of fussy cutting. Yeah, they're really cool. So anyway, I'm working on this quilt. I'm working on getting that one done. So that was a good segue. The other thing I bought at Sweetwater Cotton Shop yesterday when I was with Tracy is I got myself a couple jelly rolls that kind of go really well together. And these are 2 different jelly rolls. This one, you're gonna think I'm a Jen Kingwell freak, but this one is also Jen Kingwell. This is called Fine and Sunny. It's the Fine and Sunny line from Jen Kingwell by Moda. And I just thought these were really cool. Look at those colors. And then this one is my other favorite, Basic Gray. So that's Basic Gray, and this one's called Gypsy Soul, which I do have a Gypsy Soul. Look at this, is a gypsy. Weird, all my worlds are colliding. The Gypsy Wife and a Gypsy Soul. Weird. But anyway, I thought that these colors all kind of went well together. You can see, like, when I spin it, you can kind of see how all the colors just kind of meld. I thought it was very cool. So I have an idea of what I want to do with these 2, and it shouldn't take long. So maybe on another FlossTube, I will show you. So that's what I bought yesterday when I was at, again, Sweetwater Cotton Shop. They have a fantastic they do a ton of online sales. So if you want to try English paper piecing, they have lots of small kits. Like, this is a really tiny little kit, and it's a good way to kind of get your toes wet and try English paper piecing. So give this one a try. Okay, that was yesterday. And then the quilt retreat, we talked about that. I went on a different retreat, a cross-stitch retreat over Labor Day weekend. And a lot of my retreats now, since I have my new job, I have a job now where I work Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, and I do not have much flexibility in my schedule. So I have had to give up a lot of my retreats that I used to go to. My other job was more flexible, but it was almost, it was such a drive for me. And in the winter months, that was difficult. And it just was the right decision. I now work 3 miles from my home, and it's 8 to 4:30 Monday through Friday. And it's just different. I only have to do it for 5 more years, and then I am retiring officially. So again, like I said, I'm a senior citizen now, so yeah, 5 more years and then I will retire. And then it will be retreat time, sew time. It's going to be me time. I'm very excited for that. So, but anyway, all of my retreats now that I go to have to be on a weekend where I just have to like take one day off or something like that. So, the Labor Day weekend one is really nice because I just have to take one day off. I just don't earn a lot of vacation and it's hard. So unfortunately, I'm not able to go to many retreats anymore, but that will, like I said, just 5 more years. I can do it. I can do it. So, but I went to a retreat in Osage, Iowa. The Stitchery Nook is the store that has it. They have Osage is one of the cutest towns. Like, I would consider moving there. It is the cutest little town. There's a little apartment above this dentist office on Main Street, and I just want to move into that apartment. There's kind of like a porch out front with these arches, and oh man, it's just cute. The whole town has cute houses. I just love that place. But anyway, the Stitchery Nook in Osage, Iowa, I went there, and I know I bought more than these 2 things that I'm about to show you, but I'll be danged if I can find like what I did with them or what it was that I bought. But I know I spent a ton of money there, and I was just like, what did I buy there? But this was one thing that I bought. I was hoping to get it started before now, but this is called Pumpkin Row, and they had one finished there on this toweling. And you can see there's like a little weave to that toweling. And so I believe you stitch it over, you stitch it over one. Yeah, you stitch it over one. So it's tiny, but you can kind of see the weave there. So you stitch it and it turns out so cute. And you only have the one that they had. I'll try to insert a picture because they had one, there's a tomato row, and they had that done too. And they had a piece of red toweling with the tomato one, and that was really cute. But it just makes a long skinny thing, kind of like how this is, but it's much skinnier. And they also, there's an autumn book, Blackbird autumn book that there's you can stitch on this too, and a lot of people have done that well. So, but yeah, I want to stitch that. I'll do it next year. And then what I'm going to do to make it go with this black toweling and make it look a little more Halloween-y is, instead of doing these green stems, I'm going to do them black stems, and I'm going to do the word pumpkin in black so that it kind of ties together with that toweling. Make sense? So, and then I bought, this is a new designer, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen her stuff. I love these two. This is the Artsy Housewife. She kind of has a vibe of, it's interesting because it's kind of Good Housewifey in some ways. Like, these remind me of of the Good Housewife June Morning. I don't know how long, if any of you have been stitching as long as me and you remember that pattern, which I've got kitted and I still haven't stitched, but yeah, this kind of reminds me of June Morning a little bit. And it's weird because this designer calls herself the Artsy Housewife, and I'm not saying she's copying by any means. It's just a weird coincidence, you know, because her stuff is cute. It's a little Kathy Barrick-like too. It's kind of funky and neat. So I really like this new designer. And she has another one out that's for autumn. Oh, what is it called? It's really cool. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. A lot of you are probably yelling at me right now as to what that pattern name is. It's like, I feel like it has something to do with an apple. Anyway, I'm not going to think of it, but I've got this all kitted up and ready to go, and I'm going to modify this a little bit. I like how these two go together. I'm just going to make a little modification. By the way, if you're wondering how this is stitched on a different piece of linen as this. So these both have 3 pieces of linen that she just took her scraps and put them together. So I'm going to I'm gonna do something just a little bit different, but I really like these. So, so that was the Stitchery Nook. So yeah, they have a retreat center above the shop. So it's super handy. You can just like zip downstairs and you can just shop at will. So it's really cool. It's very fun. So, and just very nice space. They have a kitchen. We usually eat out for the most part. We get some cinnamon rolls. We just have a great time. Very, very fun little town. So, and then on the way down there, we stopped at Welcome Stitchery in Blue Earth, Minnesota. And Welcome Stitchery is a very, very cute little shop. It's kind of neat. Now, this Welcome Stitchery used to be over in Illinois, like a suburb of Chicago. Brenda Sampler Stitcher said that this used to be her local shop. And then these two ladies from Minnesota bought their inventory and the name of the shop pretty much, and they moved it to Blue Earth, Minnesota. So that's where we went. We stopped on the way to Osage at this little shop, which was on the way down, and I got a couple different things there. One of them was this super, I've seen this before, and Heart and Hand, just, I love her stuff. This, I just think, is such a cute little pattern. It says, "A friend overlooks your broken fence and admires the flowers in your garden." I just think that's the nicest little friendship thing I've ever seen. So, love that one, Friendship Garden. So I picked that up. And then this Teresa Kogut is just, I love it. Just absolutely love it. This one is called, okay, get my hand out of the way. It is called, what is it called? Wisdom. There we go. I couldn't read. I'm looking at it backwards. I hope this isn't backwards for you guys, but I just love the message it has. I love these little houses. I love the flowers. They look so fun to stitch. And I just like the saying, "'Tis not fruitful to lift one up by belittling another." I think we all know people that do that, and that's crappy. So yeah, and I just love, I just really, really like it. Yeah. So anyway, that's a good one. That's a keeper. Teresa Kogut does such a good job. She's got such a neat style. So I picked that one, those two up at Welcome Stitchery. So, all right. I finished some things. I'm gonna go through actually, in addition to, I did a lot of sewing, but I finished one big sampler that I've been working on. And I'm sure you're all like, hallelujah, it's about damn time, Sue. So, without further ado, I finished my Ragamuffin sampler. So it's all done. I got it all finished. I have a frame bought for it. And now that's my next step. I'll show you the frame. I've got it on the floor next to me. I'll kind of zoom in a little more. You can see my eyelet alphabet there. I went above and beyond. You didn't have to do an eyelet, but I'm a big doofus and I decided I'll do an eyelet alphabet. Well, that made everything take a lot longer. But you know what? I love how it looks, so it was definitely worth it. So you can see how I personalized it there. Yeah, so I didn't make really any modifications to it. I just stitched, my initials. I think the original said 1831 or something there. I should know because I stared at it for a long time. I was a little pokey getting this one finished, but you know what? I started it in 2021 and then COVID happened. And COVID had happened in 2020, but things with the Delta variant and that kind of thing. I don't know if any of you know this, but 2021 was my worst year on earth. I don't know. It was just there was a lot of things that happened that year that were very unfortunate. So yeah. So I kind of got derailed in 2021, and I had kind of a life reset. And yeah, so this one I ended up setting aside. And it was funny because every time I picked it up, I just kind of remembered. Do you ever do that where you're working on a sampler and you remember the frame, the mind frame you were in at that time? Yeah, so this just was kind of bittersweet for me. But then this year I was like, you know what? I had moved on, and COVID was pretty much over. I had started a new job and just kind of had my life reset, and I finished it up. And now I'm so glad I did because it's so pretty. It's so pretty. I'll show you the frame I have picked out for it. It's going to be awesome. Let me set this down. And I bought like 7 frames. All right, here we go. Isn't that going to be pretty? It's all ready to go. Isn't it just so pretty? It's going to look so nice in there. So I don't have any pins, so I've got to get some pins, and I've got to get that done. So, what am I going to be doing coming up? All right, I've just got things all over my island, and I'm just kind of showing you as I move along. I am going to make a baby quilt. This is a pattern I've chosen. This is an Elizabeth Hartman pattern. You can download it. I think you just go to her website. Do I have it on here? It's Elizabeth Hartman. And she is fantastic. Yeah, she's really, really great. It's called New Wave. It's a 51 by 55 lap quilt. So, yeah, so it's really, really great. It's got all of the stuff in it. So I'm going to do that. It's going to be a baby quilt. And here are my fabrics for this baby quilt. So it's going to be very fun. So there you have it. So I will give you updates on that. It's going to be fun. One of my favorite things about quilting is like that right there. Just picking out all the fabrics, making them go together. I love that. I enjoy that part of it more than making it probably. But making it's fun too, to see it all come together. So I'm gonna be working on that. And then I've been knitting, and I'm making a shawl. And the shawl is called, oh, what's it called? Doggone it. The Silver Lake shawl. So my colors are a little different than, I'll slip a picture in here. My colors are going to be a little bit different. My colors are going to be navy, as you can see. This is what I'm working on. And then the trim, or the edging, is going to be this green. So it's going to be kind of funky, because I like funky. But I'll show you how far I am working on this shawl. So actually, let me do this. Let me pull. This is the neatest little, I don't know what it prevents you. It's got this little rubber end right here. Can you see? I'm looking through. There you are. You put your needles right in here like this, in this rubber thing, and then that prevents anything from slipping off when it's in your bag. So I will just, you know why it won't go? Okay, I can't take it off and show you because I'm kind of in the middle of a row. It's a really easy pattern though. Let me just kind of flip it here. You can kind of see how it's going to go. So there's this, I'll put it in front of me. So it'll go like this. I'm only about a third of the way done probably. But it's a very mindless pattern. It's just pretty much knitting. You do a little fancy stuff at the edge, and you do a little fancy stuff here in the middle with this right here. Otherwise, it's a super easy pattern. So I bring it to work with me, and I work on it on my lunch breaks and things like that when I get one. And yeah, so that's a lot of fun. The Silver Lake Shawl by Jessica McDonald. So just kind of mindless and easy. So I like that one. So I'm working on that. Knitting is a nice winter thing, especially in Minnesota, because it's nice and cool. So, or not so nice and cool sometimes. So, but it's a nice thing to do. Just kind of sit and cozily stitch. So, and then I did something really fun. In May, my friend Tracy and I, just on kind of a whim, we said, you know what? Let's go to the attic. We both always wanted to go. I've never been to Arizona. I've never been to the attic. And we just decided that we were going to do it. And so Mother's Day weekend, we booked a plane, and it was like an overnight thing because the attic is only open on, I believe, Friday and Saturday. So we were like, okay, we're going to go Saturday. We're doing a Friday night flight. We're going to go there on a Saturday, and we are just going to shop all day, and then we're flying home Sunday. So we did that over a weekend, and I'll just show you my haul, okay? Jean, by the way, she was so nice. She was so gracious. She was so sweet. And Carolyn was there. Carolyn was there. It was just very, very fun. And that shop, I mean, we spent 6 hours there just walking around, and I still don't know that I saw everything, but it was amazing. So this was my first thing that I saw. This is called Susan's Little Sampler. It had my name in it, but what's also really weird is when I was a kid, I was probably 7 or 8 years old. I was in my neighbor's tree. My best buddy growing up was Andy Evans. I was in Andy's mountain ash tree, and I saw a cocoon on a little twig in the mountain ash tree. And I was like, oh, cool. And being a kid, I broke off the branch and I brought it home, and I said, Mom, I found a cocoon, because it was a really long, hairy cocoon. And she was like, oh yeah, look at that. So she put it in a Tupperware bowl. And I don't know, do you guys remember the Tupperware bowls where it was like a salad bowl, but the lid was like a grid or a mesh? So she just put this stick in the Tupperware bowl with the mesh lid. And about a week or two after she put it in there, that thing hatched, and it was a Cecropia moth. And I don't know if you guys know anything about a Cecropia moth, but they are huge. They're like this. They are just giant moths. And so it hatched, and we had it sitting on our back step. And my mom went out to do something, hang laundry or something one day, and she saw it in there. It was just like flapping its giant wings in this Tupperware bowl. And she was like, whoa, oh my gosh, Suzy, come and look, your moth hatched. And it was huge, and it was a Cecropia moth. And we have a video, like an 8mm video, the old, no sound, from the 1970s. And we have a video of me like taking the lid off the Tupperware, and the moth was just like sitting on the grid of the Tupperware lid. And I remember giving it a shake, and then it just flew off. And it was like, wow, that was so cool. So the fact that there's a Cecropia moth on a sampler called Susan's Little Sampler, I was like, okay, that's got to come home with me. So that was the first thing. Did they have it done? Yeah, they had it done. They had a little tree in the back. This little ice skate thing, this is a Brenda Gervais. It's one of her older ones, a winter's skate. And it's so cute. It's just a little Christmas stocking. There's hardly any stitching on it. It's more the shape and that little blade sewn onto it. I just thought that was so dang cute. So I want to make one of those. Not Forgotten Farm. Who doesn't love Not Forgotten Farm? Look at that little bell snickle Santa there with the owl. Very Nordic feel to it. I might change the colors. I do love a good orange, but I don't know. I might change it to be more Christmassy. By the way, Christmas is my favorite thing to stitch, always. And I'm so attracted to Christmas things. Every time I'm at a cross-stitch store, I try to resist buying Christmas things, and I never succeed. So, this I really like. It says, whilst I am young, oh, may I be clothed in meek humility. And it's a heartstring samplery. It's so cute. Just such a sweet little tiny sampler. I just like that one. Here's a good one from Chessie and me. And it was Mabel Lee, age 10 years. Isn't that a fun one? I just like the crowns on that one. I'm a big crown fan. I like the crowns. Here's another another Not Forgotten Farm. Isn't that fun? Sewing basket. Look at how cute that is. I love this little needle up here and the spool and the scissors. What a fun little house too. So I like that one. That had to come home with me. These two are punch needle. And I thought they were very cool. Looks like it would be fun Christmas ornaments, doesn't it? So I was like, gosh, I haven't done any punch needle in a while. And I kind of like their like faces. You know what their faces look like? God, it's from Popeye. There's that one character that has a really weird name. Is it Alice the Goon? It's a terrible name for a person. Can you imagine being called Alice, referred to as Alice the Goon? God, some of the stuff we did back in the 70s was just like, what were we doing? Anyway, this, I don't know what attracted me to this sampler. This is Needle Made Designs. I love her stuff. She's got some neat things. This is Sarah Sophia High. And look at how I'm trying to kind of keep the glare off of it. But it's I like Adam and Eve samplers for some reason. And this is really weird because it's got like Adam and Eve, but she popped in Little Bo Peep. Look at that. She's got Little Bo Peep along with Adam and Eve. So she's got like nursery rhymes and biblical stories. I don't know, man. She's mixing it up. Sarah Sophia. She must have been, oh, she was 12. All right. Here we go with the crowns again. Love me a good crown. I'm not even a big like royalty person. I don't know about all the royalty. Some people really get into that stuff and I'm like, I don't know. It's not that I've ever really followed. So, but I love the crowns. I like all their headwear. I like their head accessories. Sandra Sullivan. This is Homespun Elegance. There's a piece of hair in here, sorry. This one's a fun one too. Wouldn't that just be fun to stitch for a friend? Like from my house to yours, from me to you kind of thing, because there's two little houses on there. This one's called Sampler Friends. Isn't that cute? Homespun Elegance Sampler Friends. By the way, this one was called The Queen's Crowns. Okay. This one, oh, I love this one. This one's so fun. This is a carriage house, egg in a bowl. How fun is that? Look at that tile floor. That lady's got an egg on her head. She's gonna get pooped on by this chicken in a minute. She's got an egg, like an egg timer going. Look at, isn't that cute? There's a butter churn. She's mixing up some salt and pepper. She's got a wooden spoon. I don't know, man. That was fun. That's a cute sampler. So I saw that and that just went right in the cart. I love this. This is new. This is also Needle Made Designs. Speak kind words. Yep, speak kind words. So Needle Made Designs. There's a one that goes with this. What's that companion called? Shoot, I don't have the name of the companion. I can't think of it, but it's the same size. I can't think of what it is. Tracy bought it. This one was fun. I like to collect samplers that have my name on them. So here's the Susan Elliott sampler. Isn't that cute? It's just a cute one. Again, that's one I might change the colors on. I'll pull all the colors. Sometimes they look a lot different when you pull them. And sometimes if you put them on a different fabric too, it looks better. So, and I like that it says strive to improve. That's what we all hope to do, isn't it? Susan Elliott, age 13, 1842. This one I've been wanting to do for a while. Barb's Birds, also a Needle Made design. Big theme with Needle Made. I love Linda Vinson, I believe is her name. She's got some great stuff, but she made this in honor of Barb Adams, who passed away, sadly, in 2021. Another reason 2021 was a crappy year. And this fabric is called Barb's Blend. So I'm gonna stitch that one on here. But yeah, I love birds. I'm a bird nerd. So this one was right up my alley. This one, Autumn Pin Drum. This is another Kathy Barrick. I bought this because I stitched for my friend Tracy a small, and I'll insert a picture here, but this was meant to be done as a big drum. I stitched this little owl on the weeping willow. Isn't that cool? It's really neat. I liked it a lot. So I stitched that and I turned it into a small, and I'll insert a picture here so you can see. Isn't that cool? I like that one. I might make another one for myself in all my spare time. These two were, I hope well, one of them I'll finish in my lifetime, I hope. But the other one is a really big one. But this one here, so the Eliza Hill sampler, the Attic did a conversion. And they did it on kind of like an army green linen, and they changed the floss colors. And I chose this color, which is Prairie Green by Seraphim. It's a 36 count. And I'm gonna, the Attic did a conversion. And so I very much want to stitch this because it looks really, really cool. Their conversion is really, really neat on the dark fabric. This way, I probably would have just walked right by this sampler, but when you see it done on the darker linen, it's really, really cool. So yeah, that one I want to do. And these, by the way, I have to tell you how nice Jean Lee was when I was down there. So this one is kind of hard to get, handwork samplers, but Jean kind of has an in with her. So if you're interested in this, call Jean, because I think she can still get them. And she thought she could, but this was like her last copy that was kind of her personal copy. And she stitched this before, but she still had a copy, and she was just, nope, you take it. Because I had asked about it by name, because I always liked this one. And Jean was kind enough to sell me her own copy, which was very, very nice. So I hope she was able to get another one. So, but she said she would be able to. So, okay, this one here, I also saw in the Attic newsletter and was just kind of gaga over. This one is called For Your Party. In French, it's Pour la Fête. And it's a big one. And it is so neat. And I want to stitch this one. They had one, they didn't have the actual model there, but they had like a blown up picture, like a great big, like blown up photo of this. And it was so neat. And I just think it is such a cool sampler. I'll hold it up here so you can see it. Sorry for the glare and the crinkling. But isn't that neat? It's a big one. I really like it. So I got some legacy linen. I've kind of been collecting some of the threads. It's beautiful. And it's by Lindsay Lane Designs. And I believe it's a reproduction, I believe. But For Your Party is what it says down. Where does it say it? It says somewhere. Down here. Teeny tiny letters right there. Pour la Fête. For Your Party. So I don't know what kind of a party has where people bring her samplers, but I want to have one of those. So if any of you want to bring me a sampler of this magnitude, I am happy to host a party if you want to do something like that. So just let me know. So there's one more little thing that I got at the Attic. This was underneath all those big ones. Just this cute little topiary. This was in the clearance bin and I thought it was so cute. Hillside Samplings. So you can make a cute little fob. So yeah, I thought that was so dang cute. So anyway, I think that I've shared everything that I have been doing for the last 6 months. I am hoping to get back on here, and I want to do a tutorial on how to do my mattress finish, okay? Which is this, because it's such a simple way. And I stumbled on it accidentally when I was trying to make a blanket, believe it or not. And I made the corners wrong, and it turned out like this. And I was like, that might be a neat way to finish a needlework project. And it really is. So I want to come back and do a tutorial on this for you. My daughter said she'll help me film it. So I am working on that, hopefully in the next couple months. Like I said, I'm going on a trip with my mom in less than a month. So we're going to Europe. We start in Hamburg, Germany, and we're visiting the Christmas markets. And we're sailing on a Viking River cruise down the Elbe River. And we go from Hamburg to Berlin. We hang out in Berlin. We take a bus down to, I can't think of the name. It's not a big town in Germany, but that's where we board the Viking cruise ship. And then we sail to Prague. So it's going to be fantastic. Again, this is the second time we've done the Christmas markets. We did it in 2016. And yeah, I'm really, really, really excited. So we had so much fun in 2016. We wanted to do some different Christmas markets. So we will be doing that. I will share some pictures on Instagram of my trip. I'll try to share every day. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So it's going to be fantastic. So, I think that is oh, wait, there's one more thing. I didn't exchange, when I mentioned the exchange that I did with Tracy, where I made this for her, she made something for me as well. And she made this. It's my cat Ace. And I forgot to tell you, gosh, I'm ending on a sad note and I don't want to, but it's just, it is what it is. Ace was an older cat when I adopted him, and he was, we don't really know how old he was. The vet guessed that he was probably about 10, maybe 11. But he was just the best cat I've ever had. He was so funny. He had the biggest personality for a cat, and he was just the sweetest thing ever. But Ace passed away in May. And what happened was, it was weird because the weekend before he died, I said to my daughter, I don't know what the deal is with Ace, but I just feel like he's slowing down a little bit. And my mom, and you know, in my head, I was like, gosh, he's just kind of pokey. He wasn't like ill. He was still using the litter box. He was still eating. He was still doing all that stuff. But he just was kind of a little mopey, you know, like when his food, we have an automatic feeder, and when that would go off, he would just kind of walk over to it, you know, where before he would just trot right over, you know. So I just said, oh, he seems to be slowing down a little bit. That's too bad. And that was the weekend before he died. And what had happened was that week, he had a thyroid issue, so I had to smear his ear with like a topical thing. And we had to do it twice a day, and we had a whole routine, and he didn't mind at all because he got a treat right after he got his ear smeared. That's what we would say. Come on and get your ear smeared. So we had a whole routine, and I called him one night, and he came, but he was like kind of wandering back and forth. And I was like, what are you doing? And I was kind of laughing at him at first. And I noticed his pupils were just completely dilated. Like, what is the deal? And I showed my daughter. I was like, Ellen, look at this. His eyes are just completely dilated. They're just blown. And that's what we call it in the medical field. A blown pupil is like, just pupils are just huge. And that's usually a sign of like a neurological problem or something. But you would see if it was a neuro thing, you would think he would have some deficits, like he would not be able to use one side, kind of like stroke-like symptoms or something like that. If he had a head bleed or something. So I thought, well, maybe he just ate something weird, or I didn't know what the deal was. And it was late at night, so we just went to bed. And that night, during the night, he had tried to get up on my bed, and he couldn't get up. And and we had stairs, but I realized he couldn't see. He had gone blind. And I was like, what in the world? How did this cat just go blind overnight? And so brought him, I called the vet the next morning. We brought him in, and the vet said that he thinks what happened is that he had a hypertensive episode, meaning that his blood pressure went up so high that his retina is detached, which I had no idea that could even happen. I'm sure he probably had like a terrific headache from high blood pressure, which is why he was mopier than usual. So it was really weird. I had no idea that something like that could happen to a cat. So we had him put down, and it was sad. It sucked, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I had him for 19 months, and he was such a funny cat. Just hands down the best cat I've ever had. Just his personality was so big for such a small cat. But in the meantime, I have adopted another cat. I'm gonna go grab her. Her name is Juniper. She's a big girl. She was 16 pounds. Again, another stray. When I went to the shelter to pick one out when I was ready, I went to look around, and I asked the employees and the volunteers, if you had to bring one of these adult cats home, because I didn't want a kitten. I'm not home enough for a kitten. I want a cat who enjoys sleeping 16 hours a day. And I asked them, I said, which one of these adult cats would you bring home? And they all mentioned this one. So I like a boy cat, but she's very sweet. She's very loving. She loves people. People come to the house and she runs right up to meet them. She's very, very curious. She has beautiful blue eyes. So I'm going to go pick her up, and I'm going to bring her in here. She doesn't love being held, but I'll do my best. So hang on one second. I'm going to grab her. Do you want to go meet all the people? You want to meet the people? Look at that. She was sleeping. So this is Juniper. Isn't she cute? So she's a big calico. She was 16 pounds when I got her, and now she is down to 13, I think. So, but she's got these beautiful blue owl eyes, and she's just a very sweet, loving girl. She's very cute, aren't you? Are you a funny girl? Yeah. So this is Juniper, Junebug. So I'm gonna put her down, but yeah, that's the new cat, Juniper. So, all right, other than that, sorry to end on a downer note. Until next time, I am wishing you smooth stitching and no ripping. See you later, everybody.